So look, a couple weeks go by, I don't think nothing of it, right? You know, I figure it's over with. You know what I'm saying? The way she went off on me, and I know how people be passionate about their kids, and you know, especially kids with like issues, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, like I said, I've been working with kids for years, so I understand, I get where she was coming from. So I chalked the whole situation, right? She ended up hitting me up like one night, probably like 11 o'clock at night. And, you know, she'd be with her like one of them, hey, big head, you know, laughing emoji, da 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 da. And I'm like, hey, what's going on, da da da. And, you know, she was like, you free? Can you talk for a second? So she called me. We talked. She sort of apologized for going off and, you know, just tell me that's a real sensitive spot with her. You know what I'm saying? And she just, you know, she want to make amends, right? And I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying? There was no malice involved. It just, you know, it was a different situation. I work with kids, you know what I'm saying? So I sort of know. And I told her, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm just going to keep it a buck. Like, you know, I've been doing this for a long time and I know, you know, a couple things and, you know, he probably need some help or whatever. And so she gets a little quiet, a little defensive. And she's like, you know, I know you right, but I just hate, you know, labels and I hate this and this and third, you know, and he's been making progress on his own over the years. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, we talk, share some resources with her or whatnot. And she's like, hey, you know, I definitely want to, you know, redo. You know what I'm saying? I want to, you know, cook you dinner. You know, I'm sorry. So I'm like, okay, cool. So she's like, can you come over tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah, I can stop over. So I stop over. You know, she makes, she's like, what you want? And I was like, I mean, I actually had plans to go get subs, and she was like, hey, I can make them. You know, I can just make them at the house, and you can come, you know, we can eat those, have them here. So she's like, cool. Come over her house. She makes some homemade meatball subs. I mean, and they looked better than the restaurant. So I'm like, okay, bet. Hand me the sandwich. I'm sitting at the table, so I'm, you know, I'm eating my sandwich. And she's like cleaning up the kitchen. And then she's like, Corbin, come and eat. And so he comes in there. He just sort of stands in the middle of the kitchen floor. And he always does this thing where he's like rocking on his hind legs with the, you know, them big ass red boots on. And so she grabs a plate of some nuggets and some fries. She sits it on the floor. And he's just, you know, rocking in front of the plate, you know, just doing that, you know. I'm looking, and I've dealt with, you know, kids with like on the spectrum, autism, stuff like that, but it was like something different, you know what I'm saying? So he's sitting there, and I would take a bite of my food, you know, da 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 da, and I would look over, and like some of his food would be missing, but you would never see him eat it. Like soon as I would eat or whatever, he was like, and I was just, and once again, she's acting like this is completely normal, right? So I look over, like the next time, ain't nothing on the plate, no food, nothing. He didn't ate the whole thing, and then all of a sudden, he gone, right? And so she just, it's just like a normal thing to her. So she comes down, sits down, and she's just like, I was like, you ain't gonna eat? And she's like, I'm gonna eat in a second. You know, I'm just, I just wanted to talk to you, da da da. And she's talking, and you know, she's rubbing my back and my shoulders. I'm like, this is really good. So I'm fucking this meatball sub up at this point. I know. She's like, yeah, you know. And so she's like, let's go in the living room and sit down. So we go in the living room and sit down, and she brings her sub with her, right? So she got on like this little nightgown pajama situation or whatever, and she's eating her sub. And like when she eats, she one of them people, you ever seen like the alien and like the other set of teeth come out their mouth? Like she had a big beautiful smile, but the way she ate her food, it's like, it was just like she took the sub and she was looking around like, and she's, and I was, what the, like, is she just messing it up, right? Oh, this is good. This is good. So she like gets in my lap. And so she's getting in my lap, and she's like, you don't want to bite of mine? You don't want to bite of mine? And so, you know, she sort of puts it like in my face and like try to get me to bite. And I'm like, I just ate mine, you know, and she's like, no, take a little bite. So I take a little bite of it, and then she just bites it again, like, and I'm just, Like, and then she like is on my lap straddling me at this point. And then she sort of like rocking back and forth like she trying to get some motion going, right? And so she's eating the sub all at the same time. Then all of a sudden she take the top off, titties out, you know what I'm saying? But she's still eating the sub, fam. Like she's still like fucking the sub up at this point. And she on top of me and she riding me and she's eating at the same time. I'm like, I grab her by the waist and she's like, don't do that, cause you gonna, and so I grab her by the waist and you know what I'm saying? So she, she pulled that thing up and, next thing you know, we fucking and she's eating a sub. It was fun. I ain't even gonna lie. It was fun. It was different. And listen, I don't want people, and I say this all the time in the videos, listen, I don't want people to judge people on things that they think is weird, right? Because we all do weird and unnormal things. But what is unnormal, right? If you just haven't done it before. So, listen, I say all that to say, yeah, it went down. So, man, I need one. So, now, in my head, I'm like, I know this little nigga about to come out that room. I know he about to come out that room. He didn't, though, right? So, we finish up. I go to the bathroom. And I'm pissing, you know what I'm saying? I'm pissing, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, I hear, the circumference of your penal unit is bigger than my father's. And I'm, what? And so I pull back the shower curtains. He's in the tub, just standing there, fam. Just in the bathroom, in the tub, just standing in there. Like, I zip up and I'm just like, something wrong with this, you know what I'm saying? So I come out the bathroom, I tell her, I'm like, she's like, Corbin, why were you in the bathroom? This and the third. And she's like, go outside, just go outside and play. Hey, you don't think that's a little off? And she's like, that was strange. This and the third. I mean, well, he's outside, probably he's going to be playing with the girl next door. And I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? So I go outside, she go outside because I'm about to leave or whatnot. So I see him, sort of talking to the girl next door. It's like a younger, because he was probably about 8, 9 years old. So she had to have been probably like 5, little white girl, right? Let's just call her Whiteisha. And so she loved the mom, her name was Fredricka. Fredricka loved Whiteisha, like, because she didn't have a daughter. So she always like wanted a daughter. And so, she always used to babysit her, take care of her and stuff like that. Corbin, I can tell he did not like his mom's relationship with this little girl. Like, every time when she was walking me to my car, she came over and gave her a hug, picked her up, spun her around, and Corbin just was standing there like, I could tell he ain't like it at all, right? You know what I'm saying? So I get in my car, I leave. She texted me later on that night. She sent me this video of her, doing some things, and she was just like, I really feel, safe with you. You know what I'm saying? You're so smart and you know about this situation I got with Corbin, and that's been real difficult with me in dating and being with men who don't understand or be empathetic to my situation. So it's like, I really feel like a level of vulnerability with you. And, I know it's been very, early, you know what I'm saying? But I just feel like it's been like a long time. I feel like it's been so long since I've had somebody to actually talk to who can understand what I'm going through in this situation. And I was like, you know what? I get that, but he still need help. Like, he still needs services. Like, we can talk about your comfortability with everything. That's fine. But it's like, he really need like assistance, because I'm telling you, it's interesting. That's all I can say. So the next day, I go over her crib, right? And when I go over her crib, as soon as I get up on the porch to go knock on the door, I notice like it's a dead squirrel, like right by the door under the mailbox. And I kick it a little bit and I see it's dead. And I'm looking around and I go in the house. As soon as I go in the house, out the corner of my eye, I can see Corbin standing like at the end of the porch, like in between the things or whatever. And he just got that look in his face. And he's just staring, and he's just like, and I'm like, first thing I thought, man, this little Jeffrey Dahmer be out here killing animals, right? You know what I'm saying? I can see this happening. And so I come in the crib. She's sitting there, she a little stressed out or whatnot. And she's like, man, it's been a rough day. And she's like, what's going on? I'm like, what's going on? She's like, Corbin's school called, they want to, have a parent-teacher conference to talk about his behavior and some of the stuff he going on. So I asked her what school he go to. I knew somebody who worked there. I text her, I'm like, hey, so-and-so, da-da-da-da. And she's like, yeah, I know him. Everybody know him. And so I'm like, hey, it's a little situation tomorrow, da-da-da-da-da, you know what I'm saying? She was like, you should come. Ask her if you can come. And so I tell her, and I was like, I go up there with you. I know a lot of these people. I done dealt with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done dealt with them before, da-da-da-da-da. So I go up there with her to advocate for Corbin because basically he has IEP. It need to be adjusted severely, right? Because she doesn't want all the assistance and prompts and all these different things because she wants him to be treated normally. They want to institute all these different things because he's falling behind, and you already know, right? I'm talking to her and she's going off on the lady. He's man, I don't like how y'all treating my son. And the lady just stopped the whole meeting. She's like, he does not need to be in this school. He needs to be in a special school. You are in denial. And she got pissed. When I tell you she got pissed, she turned into the Incredible Hulk right then and there. Who the fuck do you think you are to tell me about my son? So I end up having to, grab her, separate her, get her in the car. Like, she lost her shit. Like, I get her in the car. She's, like, breathing all heavy. You know what I'm saying? Corbin in the backseat. The intensity of the moment is exceeding all exponential thoughts. He just keep rambling, just doing this. Now, me, at this point, I'm like, it is way too early for me to be invested in this situation like this. So I'm like, okay, it's time to exit stage left, right? Get him back home. Take her inside. Corbin stays outside. So I'm in here I'm making her some tea, like, hey, calm down. Everything will be okay, da-da-da-da-da. Next thing you know, I hear a knock at the door. It's the little white girl's mom. And she's like, Corbin just hit her. And, she's like, what? Corbin, did you hit her? And Corbin just standing there. Her joy was exceeding my limits. Her joy was exceeding my limits. Her joy was exceeding my limits. And I'm just like, this little serial killer ass nigga, what in the freaking hizzy for sheezy? What? So the little girl got like a nice little bruise on her eye, like where I don't know what he did, right? So the mom, she's just like, I know kids will be kids, but he needs to, keep his hands off of her. And Fredricka, she's like, I understand, we love her, we love her, and and she was just like, I'm so sorry. And she takes Corbin into his room, fussing at him or whatnot, take him in the room. And so the white girl is still standing there, and I'm looking at her and I'm like, stop letting your daughter play with him. Something is wrong with him. And she's like, no, it's not. Corbin's just a regular kid. It's just an accident. I'm like, look at me, white lady. Something's wrong with that boy. I'm a black man, and I'm telling you, keep this white girl safe. She's like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. I just wanted to bring it to her attention. And I'm like, okay, all right. Yeah, you'll be on the news. And so she goes out, and she comes out, and I was like, look, you need to really consider putting him somewhere that, can deal with this. And she's like, I don't understand. I don't know what I can do, and I don't know why it's changing. I'm like, for one, he's getting older and older, and you're not addressing any of his real needs. He needs specialized assistance. And so she's sitting there, and she's frustrated, you know what I'm saying? And she, just like hot, right? I sit down because I'm a little frustrated at this point. So she sees that the whole situation has frustrated me. So I'm sitting down. She comes up from behind me and starts rubbing my shoulders. And, I'm sorry. This is a lot. I just don't please just don't, run off. Just, I really need you right now. And she's rubbing my shoulders, rubbing my arms, back of my neck, my ears. Look, I had to learn, myself, that physical touch meant a lot to me more than I thought. And I started to figure out women was manipulating me with physical touch, because she started massaging me and I was pissed. But like, she kept hitting like the back of my ears and like the back of my head. Next thing you know, I was like, then she put them titties on my back. Man, she put them titties. I'm like, I don't care. Listen, I don't care what kind of massage you get. When you get a massage with warm titty meat on your back, warm titty meat, there. So she gave a massage, rubbing me back, all that. I took her down, right then and there. Pow, right, and went to town, right? We laying there afterwards, and she was just like, I just needed that, I needed that. And I could tell you needed that. And I'm just like, I didn't have feelings for her like that, but like, she had an erotic component that, you ever just meet somebody it don't really matter, you can get it going any given time, and that's sort of how it was with her. But I told her, like, when we was done, I was like, look, this is too early to be going through all this stuff with you and your son. Like, it's crazy. And I wish in a different situation we would have more time just, to figure this out. And she was just like, what are you saying? And I was like, look, I'm just going to go home and think about this whole thing or whatnot. So I go home. Like, I get to my house, right? It's probably about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. So I pull up in my house, get out the car, go to walk in. It's starting to rain, So I'm, tapping, trying to get to the front door. Leave my thing keys in. Soon as I try to walk through the front door, she pulls into my driveway. Now she pulls into the driveway and she just, it's raining, and she just like, look, I get it, Tom, it's just, don't, what. I'm like, come in, girl. Like, it's starting to rain. She's getting soaked. I'm like, come in. And then so she come in, we start talking some more, and she ended up staying for like a couple hours, like, and I'm like, where's Corbin at? She's like, he's at home. I'm gonna go back. He was asleep when I left. And I was like, yeah, you should head back, and cause ain't no telling, right? So she heads back. So some hours done pass, and she calls me like probably 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and she's like, Tom, please come over. Just please come over. So I come over. She comes home. I don't know how this happened, the sequence of events. Just like to this day, like I don't know how and what. When she came home, she looked in Corbin's room, saw, he was in his bed, sleep. So she went and got in her bed and went to sleep. And she was alerted, she said like around 4:30, like the police was at her door, like knocking on the door. And so they knocking on the door and they tell her Corbin has assaulted the little girl next door. So she's like, he's in his room asleep. And so she goes in the room. He's not in his room. He's in the back of a police car. This little dude somehow left his house, faked like he was sleeping, went next door, broke into their house, and like started beating the little girl like over the head with something, but she face was all messed up. She got bruises and all this stuff, and they took his little ass to jail. I came over there and I'm looking, as soon as I pull up, I see him in the police car. And, old girl, she in the front yard just crying. She done fell out, And the white lady, she's, your son's evil. Your son's evil. He's evil. Who would hurt my daughter? All this stuff. And I'm just like, this is not my bag. This is your bag. This is not my bag. Excuse me. This is your bag, not my bag. I'm going to leave now because this isn't my bag. This is your bag. All right, this has been great. This has been fun, but I'm going to go. I just slowly start backing out of the scene. Because at first I was like, let me help. Let me see with it. But then in my head, I was like, you don't want no parts of this, fam. Just get in the car and leave. Blocker. This ain't you. So I did. It ended up, hitting the paper a little bit, It wasn't like a major story, But it was in the paper. He ended up getting remanded for, I think they end up doing like psychiatric evaluation. I think he stayed in there for like 6 months or whatever. And she was mandated to get him treatment and help and services and stuff like that. To this day, listen, I'm not saying anything is wrong with dating a woman with kids, but dating a woman with kids with special needs that need assistance and then they're naive about it, yo, I will never do that again. Never. I learned my lesson. Lesson learned, baby. But hey, that's just another one of my crazy dating stories. See you in the next one.
Hey Tom, tell me a story.